Good morning to all. Today we will learn about punctuation marks and use of capital letters. Now, what is punctuation? Punctuation is the use of marks and signs in writing, and it is used to separate words into clauses, phrases, and sentences in order to make the meaning of that sentence clear. Now, different types of punctuation marks are like full stops, question marks, exclamation marks, commas, quotation marks, apostrophes, colons, semicolons, hyphens, dashes, and brackets. So, we will be learning about when and how to use each of these punctuation marks correctly. Now, the most common marks of punctuations are, you can see here on the screen, full stop, comma, colon, semicolon, question mark, exclamation mark, quotation mark, apostrophe, and hyphen. So first we will study about full stop. So use a full stop at the end of a complete sentence that is a statement. The example is given here. I know that you would never break my trust intentionally. So when the sentence is a statement, we use full stop. Second, if the last word in the sentence ends in a full stop, do not use another full stop after it. Here you can see, I know that MD, full stop. Then, she is my sister-in-law, full stop. Now, full stop is placed at the end of an assertive or imperative sentences. Imperative sentences are those sentences which give commands, and assertive are statements. So, example you can see, honesty is the best policy. Wait for me till I return. But sometimes an exclamation mark is placed at the end of short imperative sentences, ordering sentences like stand up, be quiet, stop, don't shout. So here in place of full stop, we put exclamation mark. Now second is comma. Comma marks the shortest pause. Okay. And it is used, we'll see the rules. First, to avoid confusion. Use commas to separate words and word groups with a series of 3 or more. Or you can say to separate a series of words of the same part of a speech. We use comma. For example, my property is to be split among my husband, daughter, son, and nephew. So here series of words are separated with the help of comma. Second, use a comma to separate two adjectives when the word and can be inserted between them. So here you can see two adjectives are given. He is strong and healthy man. So instead of writing strong and healthy, we can put a comma between strong and healthy. He is strong, comma, healthy man. Use commas before or surrounding the name or title of a person directly addressed. Like, will you, comma, Aisha, do that assignment for me? Yes, comma, doctor, I will. Or you can say to mark off the name of the person addressed like Raman, comma, come into the garden. Next, use a comma to separate the date of the month from the year and the after the year. Like they talked in December 2003, comma, in Mill Valley. Next is use commas to set off expressions that interrupt the flow of the sentence. Like I am, comma, as you have probably noticed, very nervous about this. When you want to set expressions that are interrupting the flow of a sentence, we use commas. If something or someone is sufficiently identified, the description below the description following it is considered non-essential and should be surrounded by commas. Like Freddie, who has a limp, comma, was the only person available with required qualification. So this is the description we are telling about this person. So then we can just use commas and we can separate this thing. Like Freddie, we are telling about Freddie. What description we are giving? Who has a limp. And again, was the only person available with required qualification. So this, like this, we can use commas. you are sufficient to identify Freddy here. When starting a sentence with a weak clause, use a comma after it. Now you can see first the clause means complete sentence. So here in this sentence you can see if you are not sure about this. This is a weak clause because it is not showing full meaning. It is a weak clause. So we use comma, let me know now. This is a strong. So we use comma before after a weak clause. Let me know now if you are not sure about this. If your clause is strong, we do not use comma. Next, use a comma to separate two strong clauses joined by a conjunctions. Conjunction like and, or, but, for, or nor. You can omit the comma and if the clauses are both short, like this is a these are two short clauses, so we have omitted here. I paint and he writes. But if it is the two strong clauses are joined by uh, and, or, but, for, on, what are they? They are conjunctions. So we use comma. Like I have painted the entire house, comma, and before conjunction we are putting a comma here because these are two strong clauses. He is still working on sanding the doors. Okay. Next, use the comma to separate two sentences if it helps to avoid confusion. If any sentence is showing any confusion, then we can use to separate those two sentences. Like I chose the colors red and green, comma, and blue was his first choice. So in this sentence, there is some confusion. So to avoid this confusion, we can use comma here. Now use comma to introduce direct quotations shorter than 3 lines. If any quotation are what? Exact words which are said by the speaker. Okay. So quotation here you can see this is I do not care. These are the exact words said by the speaker. So we can use comma to introduce direct quotations shorter than 3 lines. If it is shorter than 3 lines, we can use comma like he actually said comma and these are the exact word which we have put in quotation mark. Use a comma to separate statement from a sentence. Now when a sentence has two sentences, this is a full sentence but it has two different sentences. First is statement and second is question. So we can put a comma between the two sentences. I can go comma, this is a statement and this is a questioning sentence. Can't I? Use a comma to separate contrasting parts of a sentence. Like, that is my money, comma, not yours. So yours and mine, they are contrasting parts of a sentence. Now, we also use comma when beginning sentences with introductory words like yes, no, well, now. Then we put comma after this introductory words and then we say the rest of the sentence. We speak the rest of the sentence like yes, comma, I do need that report. Next, use comma surrounding words such as therefore and however when they are used as interrupters. When they interrupt the sentence, then also we can use I would therefore like a response. So I would, comma, therefore, comma, like a response. I would be happy, comma, however, comma, to volunteer for the Red Cross. Next is colon. Colon is, it indicates a greater pause than that shown by a semicolon. It is not used now except to mark off a direct quotation. Now let's see where it is used. Use the colon to introduce a list of items when introductory words such as namely, for example, or that is do not appear. So like if I want to show some items, how can I use colon? See, I want the following items. This is the sign of colon, two dots, butter, sugar and flour. Now, a colon should not precede a list unless it follows a complete sentence. Now, if I want to use it here, I can use it like this way. I want an assistant who can do the following. What following things he can do? Input data, write reports, complete text forms. So I can use like this way also. Next is use a colon when the second clause explains the first clause and no conjunction is being used to connect the clauses. There is no conjunction and the second one is explaining the first clause. Okay. If only one sentence follows the colon, do not capitalize the first word. The first word of the new sentence. If two or more sentences follow the colon, capitalize the first word of each sentences. Like see here it is shown different examples. I enjoy reading novels by Kurt are my favorite. So here it is second one is explaining the first, that's why we have not started with capital letter. But if two or more sentences follow the colon, capitalize the first word of each. If two colons are followed, then we will capitalize both. Now, use the colon to introduce a direct quotation that is more than 3 lines in length. In this situation, what you have to do? You have to leave a blank line above and below the quoted material. Single space the long quotation. Okay, so if you want to write anything, if you want to write a direct quotation, what you will do? You will write in this manner. Okay. Next is semicolon. It marks a greater pause that indicated by a comma. Or you can say semicolon is used to separate a series of clauses like I came, I saw, I conquered. Use a semicolon in place of full stop to separate two sentences where the conjunctions has been just left out. You can see call me tomorrow. There is no conjunction. I will give you my answer then. So here in place of using conjunction, we are using what? Semicolon. I have paid my duties. Therefore, I expect all the privileges listed in the contract. Now, use the semicolon to separate units of series when one or more of the units contains comma. So with this, we are not going to go in detail. Then use the semicolon between two sentences that are joined by a conjunction but already have one or more commas within the first sentence. So it is again used when we use two sentences that are joined by a conjunction, but the first sentence is already having a comma. Like, when I finish here, I will be glad to help you. Then this is semicolon, and that is a promise I will keep. Now question mark. Question mark is placed at the end of an interrogative sentence. Use a question mark only after a direct question. So this is a direct question. Will you go with me? I asked if he would go with me. Use a question mark when a sentence is half statement and half question. You can see here, this is one sentence, but it has two different kinds of sentences. First is you do care. This is a statement. And don't you. This is a question. So you have to insert question mark to the half of the rest of the sentence, like this one. Exclamation mark. It is used after exclamatory sentences. Use exclamation points to show emphasis or surprise. Do not use exclamation points in formal business letter. So like, I am truly shocked by your behavior. This is an example of exclamatory mark. One more also I can tell you, like, well done, how it rains. Now quotation marks. Quotation marks are used of the exact words of a speaker. It tells the exact words of the speaker, and you can see this is the sign inverted commas is inverted commas, or you can say quotation marks. Now when we speak about quotation marks rules, full stops and commas, they always go inside quotation marks. Okay, now here second one I'm telling you, the placement of quotation marks with quotes follow logic. If a question is in quotation mark, the question mark should be placed inside the quotation marks. Like this is your sentence, which is a this is a interrogative sentence. Okay, so you will put this question mark inside the sentence. Okay, when you have a question outside quoted material and inside quoted material, use only one question mark and place it inside the quotation mark. Now see what this rule wants to say. Did she say? This is also a question sentence. And may I go? This is also a question sentence. Sentence which I have a question. So when there is a question outside quoted material and inside quoted material, you will use quotation mark only here, question mark only here inside the quotation mark. Means in the second questioning sentence, we will put question mark and then we will close it with quotation mark. Use single quotation mark for quotes within quotes. He said, Daniel said, don't do not treat me that way. Means this is the first single quotation, and this then again there is a quotation, so we will insert here. Okay, quotation mark we will use here. Use quotation marks to set off a direct quotation only, direct words of a speaker. When will you be here? He asked. So when your sentence is directly starting with quotation marks, you will use it in this way. This is a direct quotation. Do not use quotation marks with quoted material that is more than 3 lines in length. Okay. Next is apostrophe. So apostrophe you must have seen. This is the sign of apostrophe. This D-O-N, then here, and then T. This is apostrophe sign. So use the apostrophe with contraction. When you make anything in small, you want to contract. Like this is do not. So we have written it is as don't. Is not, isn't. You are, your. She is, she's. Okay. The apostrophe is always placed at the spot where one or more letters have been removed. When you want to show possession or you want to show belonging, you use apostrophe. So place the apostrophes before the S to show singular, like one boy's hat, one child's hat. Now names ending in S or NS sound are also required to have the second S added, like John's. So John's is already one name, and then we are adding apostrophe and then S. So this is the name Jones. So don't get confused. Okay, Lee's. So this is again Lees is the name. So you will put inverted comma here and then you will put again S. Use apostrophe when the noun that should follow is impiled. This was his father's, not his jacket. Means this was his father, not his jacket. This jacket was belonging to his father. To show plural possession, make the noun plural first, then immediately use the apostrophe. Two boys had. If you want to show plural possessions, how will you show? You will write like, you will make the noun plural, B-O-Y-S, and then you will put apostrophe. With a single compound noun, show possession with apostrophe S at the end of the word. Okay, how? My mother-in-laws. You will put this apostrophe with the last word. If compound noun is plural, then you will form the plural first and then you will use it, like my two brothers-in-laws. Use apostrophe and S after the second name if the two people possesses the same item. Like Sarah's and Amna's job contracts will be renewed next years. So we are putting it here. This is indicates separate ownership, and this sentence indicate ownership of more than one contract. So Sarah and Amna's job contracts will be renewed next year. Never use an apostrophe with possessive pronouns. Okay, like his, hers, its, theirs, ours, yours, whose. They already show possessions, so they do not require an apostrophe. This book is hers, not yours. Sincerely yours. This is incorrect. You never used your apostrophe s. This word you will use yours. Okay. Now hyphen. To check whether a compound noun is two word, one word, or hyphenated, you may need to look it up in the dictionary. If you can't find the word in the dictionary, treat the noun as separate words like eyewitness, eyeshadow, eye opener. So these is when you want to check whether the word is compound noun in two words or one words or hyphenated words. Hyphenate all compound numbers from 21 to 91. Example, the teacher had 32 children in her classroom. Only 21 of the children were bilingual. Hyphenate all spelled out fractions like 1/3, 1/4. We use this dash to separate them. Okay. When adverbs other than ly adverbs are used as compound words in front of a noun, hyphenate. Okay. When the combination of words is used after the noun, do not hyphenate. Like the well-known actress accepted her award. The actress who accepted her award was well known. So here we are not going to use hyphenated, but here we are going to hyphenate because it is used as compound noun word. So we are hyphenating it here. He got much needed haircut yesterday. His haircut was much needed. Generally, hyphenated between two or more adjectives when they come between noun and act as a single idea, like friendly looking man. So compound adjective in front of a noun. So friendly looking, again the both are what? Adjectives. So here we can use hyphen. Okay. So this much is all about your punctuation marks.